Okay, so let's talk about the Smash player theme here. Once again, we're going to change the mode to dark, and I'm going to jump in here and we're going to look at what we're being asked to do. So first, we go to Sugar Smash Player. We're asked to do a int ID number. So let's just do that, int ID number. And we're asked to do a string name. Really, these methods, these attributes should be private for information hiding. So let's do private for string name and ID number. And let's do an array of integers in each of the 10 game levels. So private int scores equals new int 10, right? Didn't do that right. Private int scores equals new int 10, I guess. That's how it should look. All right, then we're going to say include get and set methods for each field. So let's just quickly type in like public get ID number, and that's just going to return it's obviously an int. Public int get ID number, that's going to return the ID number, right? And then we're going to say public string name, which is going to return the name. And then we're going to say public int get score, and we're actually going to pass in a parameter here, and that parameter should require the game level. So we're just going to say int GL, and what we're going to return is scores, return scores at GL, and that's going to be score at game level. All right, and finally, we're going to create our set methods, and we'll start with setting score, and that we're going to pass in the game level, and we're going to pass in, actually let's pass in the score and then the game level. All right, and then when we do that, we're going to say scores at game level equals score. Pretty straightforward. Then we're going to set name, public void set name, and string in. We're going to say name is equal to n, and then we're finally going to set the ID number with an int ID, and we're just going to set ID number to ID. Cool. And that sets up the Sugar Smash player, and we're just going to test it real quick because I want to make sure that that's functional. Right? It's given an error, so I'm going to run in here and say why, and it's because the build failed. I forgot to put void here. Alright, so let's go ahead. That's a nice little error check early on. Public void set ID number. Alright, and we can run this again. I want to run this again, and we should be able to run this check pretty straightforward. It's asking me to set name and get name in Sugar Smash player. Cool. So we're good. So set name and get name. It's telling me there is a problem because player.getName cannot find symbol. We will come back to that in a second. But yeah, that's probably because either way. Let's go back to our methods here, and says that I know why. Let's go back to our themes. It says holds data by single player. Include get and set methods for each field. The get method for score should require the game level to retrieve the score for, right? The set method should require two parameters, right? Disciplinary methods if the user attempts to retrieve a score that's out of range from the array of scores. So if game level is greater than 0 and game level is less than 9. right? And I guess we just say this. Game level is less than or equal to 0, like that. Then we're going to set it. Else, we're gonna send an error message back that just basically says, you basically says you have attempted to assign a score from a level that is out of range for the arranger score. So we'll just be like this. So we'll just say system.out.println. You have attempted to assign that is out of range for the array of scores. There you go. All right. And yeah, that works for that problem. And then of course the same thing with get score. If that happens, we want to say the same thing. Right? We want to come up here and we want to say, okay, so if you've done this, you want to return score. Return the scores, else we're going to return like a -1, but we're going to print out you've attempted to retrieve a game from a level that is outside the range of scores. You attempted to retrieve, okay, I need to actually make this assign. Attempted to assign a score that is outside the range of scores. I need to make this retrieve a score. All right, okay, cool. And then we're going to return -1. All right, cool. So you guys, if you want to look at this, I'm going to go ahead and make this over here, and you can see what's happening. When we're getting score, we're setting score, we're meeting this criteria as well. And it says no level except the first one shall be set unless the user has used at least 100 points at each previous level. So on our set score side, we need to make sure that the previous level has had at least a score assigned. So right, so we need to say at least 100 points at each previous level. So if the level is between 0 and 1, and if GL is equal to 0, or scores at GL -1 are greater than I only wanted to check. Let's do it this way. If GL is equal to 0, then we're going to go and set the score. Else, it's really weird that I can't. Else, that I can. It's really weird that I can't tab correctly in Cengage. But if GL scores -1 are greater than or equal to 100, right? Then make this look clear. Then set the scores. There's probably a better way of doing this. This feels like a nested if else. It's unnecessary, but we're just keeping it simple, so we're going to go do it this way. Else, we're going to go ahead and say you have attempted to set a score without completing the previous level. So you have attempted to enter a score for a level before completing the previous level. Okay, cool. So now I believe this is going to look good. I'm going to go ahead and run the check for set name and get name. Set name and get name should already work. Set name, oh, get name, that would help. And set name, okay. Let's run that check and see what we get on Sugar Smash Player. Okay, it's telling me there's a problem still, and that problem is error, attempted to enter score before, I'm missing a semicolon here, which is a problem. Let's run the check again. All right, let's see what we get. Cool, got that check passed. I'm going to go ahead and see if the get score works. Nope, got a problem. So let's check that out. It says get score, build failed. It says player score 0 equals score has private access in Sugar Smash Player. Of course it does. So we're going to make this okay. Generally speaking, you would want private access, but who cares? Let's do it this way. Alright, so this is the weird thing. This is actually asking me get score should have worked with no problem because I made that public, but either way, whatever, that worked. So now we got that worked on get scores, and let's check our set scores method at this point. Let's go ahead and check that out and see what happens. I feel like we got set score done correctly. We did. And then we're just going to see if set score doesn't allow a level to be skipped. And it doesn't. I mean, it never even asked about Premium Smash Player. But basically, all we're going to do is we're going to override that attribute and just say this is the new attribute. And it's this int scores. But we're going to give an additional 40 levels as it asks for. And we're going to say int 50. And you can see that here. It says pay $2.99 of access to 40 additional levels of play. As in the free version of the game, a user cannot set a score for a level unless users earn at least 100 points in all previous levels. That happens correctly. We're looking good. I feel confident, and either way, we gotta submit this at 100%. So we're okay. Confirm. Okay. So good. That's all for now.